Hi there, it's Quilting Nerd. Today is something slightly different. I start with the intro, so I made this throw quilt for a little girl, and it consists of half square triangles, and I made too many of those. So I decided to use them in different arrangement for this nice table runner. And quilting of this table runner is the topic of today's video. I have 5 blocks, each consists of 4 half square triangle units. The finished block is 10 inches because the half square triangles were at 5.5, so it's 10 inches, and between them I have 2-inch wide sashings. I simply used also some leftover jelly roll in neutral color. So it is very cheery and spring-like, very bloomy table runner. Now the question is how we will quilt it. I know from experience and also from this that quilting in this busy fabric is not showing much. That means immediately I will spare time and effort, and I will probably just do some very simple ruler work. But we have these very nice centers, those very nice squares on point, where we have actually quite a lot of negative space. So let's see how we can quilt it together. So see you in a moment. My table runner is under my machine. I am using yellow thread as a top thread, and in my bobbin I have something very neutral in color because I'm changing colors of my fabric all the time and I don't want to change the thread color, and the neutral color will fit in whenever I want, even if it will show up a little bit. I already know that quilting on this patterned fabric is not very much visible, so I decided to start with some simple line quilting. So all my patterned triangles, the ones that are in the corner, will be quilted with dot to dot line. I know I still have to show you my last project finished. It is not there yet, and I had to finish some other projects, including the one I showed you before. There is a little girl waiting for this quilt, and I want to have it done till the next weekend. So some other smaller project in between. But I don't know how you are doing it, but I have always several different projects I am juggling in between. And I will add here some wishbones here under. That's the classical way to quilt this such element, and I like it. It adds extra texture regardless if it's visible or not. Just let me take a look. It is visible. At least in the... I'm always fighting with the lighting lately to make sure that you have the best view and you can see the details. So we just have to go through this very thick seam part. You have to be very careful that you don't push and suddenly you have this huge stitch there. I hate when that happens. And now what I am doing is I'm just working a line, then to the corner, I have this thing, I don't, when I see lately that I have some orphan blocks, I want to use them as fast as possible. So I still have actually left, I cut too many squares, so I have actually squares from this project left. And I have still a few half square triangles left, so probably I will still make some pillows out of it. I want to have this project done because my son is going for a school trip to England, and the kids are spending the nights not in a hotel but in private houses. So it is of course very nice if the kids are bringing something with them as a present, but we were told that those people have more than enough of souvenirs from Dresden city. They don't need another wall clock, they don't need another plate or book about Dresden, because they are cooperating with the schools in Dresden since a very long time. So I decided to make something handmade. So I still don't know if it will be this table runner or maybe some pillows. I have also other ones, but it's good to have options. And the advantage of that is that it cannot get damaged during transport. The combination of dot-to-dot quilting and wishbones in triangle elements, it's kind of classic with a good reason, because it's relatively fast and it always looks good. And you can have fun and change the styles of quilting between the free motion and the ruler work. So ruler work is really good for such heavily patterned fabrics where the quilting is not showing anyway, and there is no need to put lots of work into some sophisticated patterns because the details cannot be seen anyway. So we have to be practical, and today's episode is this time about practical quilting. So now we can use the fact we are within the seam and we can stitch in the ditch to move a little bit down. And of course I will now add echo line. Just thinking how to, yep, so that should be good now. And so we will separate the middle a little bit from our triangles. I'm using markings on my ruler to make sure everything is orthogonal, and I will be left with a square. It's actually working pretty good. Now the echo element is done, and we can come up with whatever element we want to quilt here in the middle. And I have 3 colors with 5 elements. The orange is the central one, and then on each side I have yellow and pink. And I would like to quilt each of the colors, those secondary pattern squares, with different patterns. And now the question is, how do I want to proceed here? And I think I will want to use the fact that I have my new ruler here, and to check if I can use it. Nope, this one will be too short. So this one is not giving me enough arch, so it's always the question which ruler would be the best. So this one will be too large. That should work in that way. So it's actually 10-inch curve, and I'm quilting on the outside to create an arch. I can always adjust my ruler a little bit to make sure I am landing where I want. I want to land in the corner. This is close enough. And I have some nice space here under if I will want to quilt it. And I will repeat now the process on all fours. I'm not rushing. This quilting will be relatively fast anyway. And why do what I will do now is next. I will use my seam lines and my arches as guides for my feathers. So what I will do now, I will quilt a bounced back feather on both sides, where in the upper part I will use the seam lines as my guidelines, how far I can extend, and here I will simply use this arch and fill it at the bottom So I can just go on both sides now. So first I will put the lower part in all of them. They will be kind of going in one direction, so there will be kind of a twist character to the feathers. And we will go on. This example shows you that you can have quilting patterns that are extremely efficient in terms of movement. I am just moving around my block, filling it one element at a time without breaking the thread at all. And I think I will keep this feather-like character for all the blocks. So each color will be filled with different feather. The corner units will be all quilted like I showed you, so 2 dot lines and the wishbone. And the middle will be quilted with different feathers. I'm not sure yet about the sashing. Probably I will also have to use some feather-like filler. And if you remember, I presented you already several ideas what kind of feather you can use. Once more, thank you for wonderful reviews for my little booklet. My score for my Etsy store is perfect for now, so I am really happy about that. So thank you for all your support and comments and feedback. So now here the specifics, we have to extend our plumes. It's always the same with me, plumes. That's the correct pronunciation of this word. So we have to extend our element of our feather to the edge of the patch. And because it's feather, the texture is absolutely amazing. As you notice, now I'm not rotating my sandwich at all, which means my technique has to be good enough that I can manage quilting of the plumes in different directions. But if you would be doing that on a long arm, you would have to be able to do that also. So doodling and drawing on the paper helps always, because quilting is all about muscle memory. And bounce back feathers have this incredible rhythm. It's very easy to remember the sequence that you're supposed to do. And our first square is filled, and it looks absolutely yummy. I will concentrate today on showing you how to fill those squares with the feather elements and not worry about the sashing or the corners. This I will do on the when I'm done with this video. And now we have to select other roller, and probably I will use this one, and we will quilt a wreath. So those rollers are very nice when you will be buying your circle, getting your any kind of rollers. Please pay attention that they have markings for symmetrical position. So this one has, it's from Handy Quilters. Usually I'm not trying to avoid recommendations. I'm not paid by any of the vendors, but good quality is nice to have. And if you have more questions, I am trying to answer them as well as I can in the comments section. So I will quilt now my circle. And we will quilt our feather this time around. We will stay with the bounce back feather technique. I always have a little bit of a problem how to fill the such tight circle, but let's try how this will look like. So always a mixture of longer and shorter plumes. Because we want to try to fill them as close as possible. So we have this nice and organic look inside, and I'm using those seam lines to help me to decide so I will come back here and always with this beginning here, so good enough. And now the outside is a little bit easier. Always a bit problems with the first line, decide what is the best angle for that, but once I start it goes. So for example, the first one here I the angle was not steep enough, but I will just leave it as it is and make me the note to improve it in the next quilt. Because I will probably rotate the cord later on, the twist on the other side will go in the other direction, which will be looking very nice. So that would be the filler for the, and you know what I did right now? I didn't add an echo inside. Too late. It's okay. I think we will do that exactly the same way on the other skirt. I will try to remember to add the inside echo on the pink one. I have to. No, it was good. So with the omission of the echo, it still looks nice and fills the square nicely. And because these parts are relatively fluffy and it's strong contrast in color, that's still fine. Now the last square for today, and then our half an hour of relaxing quilting will be done. I'm just maybe I will add still 2 pins so my fabric is not moving. I always rely on the friction and very few pins. I don't know why. I never could understand why some quilters are using so many pins. Probably when they are using the walking foot and they don't want the fabric shift too much. But because I am, I never do that. So this time we will add the echo line. One, two, three, and the fourth one. one of my markers. It's the one that disappears very fast. And I have to mark my middle. That means I am checking where is the curve point that leads to the center, and that will be my perpendicular to the base of my triangle. It's always amazing how much geometry you are doing while quilting without really thinking about it. And then actually, probably I will use this one. What I will do now, I will travel back to the middle of my base. That's here. And I will use my ruler to quilt the first plum. I want to have it nice and symmetrical. I'm still learning how to use this ruler here. And we will use the symmetrical feather to fill the last one. There will be some accumulation of thread on one side, but there is, you have to pay a little bit attention to positioning of the ruler. That takes always a little bit time, but once you know what you are doing and how you are quilting your elements, the process is much faster. If I am not making a YouTube video, my designs tend to be much simpler, because simply I want to provide you with something like about half an hour long video, and show you different options for the quilting. And so that means from time to time I have to show you variations for different, for example, block quilting. And in such a case, takes always a little bit longer to quilt a project, because I am thinking what designs can I use and what variations I can do. When I am quilting outside of my YouTube activities, I am just sticking to one, maybe two designs, just to avoid boredom. But after and with that strategy, I am much faster. So, last element. Like that, in 35 minutes about, we have quilted those squares with some explanations, and I will probably make some video showing how I finish different projects, including this one later on. I know I'm promising that, and sooner or later I will deliver. So that was the block number 3. It looks nice, very symmetric, very nice. And that was the block number 2 without the inside echo. And I have to remember to repeat that in the another yellow block. And then the block number 1. In each case, I used bounced back feather, just with different variations in the same pattern, and you have completely different character of your block. But because it's I can repeat it symmetrically, it will still look on the whole quilt. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think, and hopefully see you soon. Bye.